Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Secrets to Real Estate Investing. Today we are going to learn all about postcard marketing, which I am not an expert in by any means. Some of you investors are, I know, and that's how you get all of your deals. And I am super not knowledgeable about this. Those of you that know me know I get my deals through networking. So I'm really excited to have an expert on the show today who is very knowledgeable and experienced about this method of marketing. His name is Coziahr from Postcard Mania, and he's been helping small businesses over 20 years with their marketing. So with that, welcome to the show, Barry.
Thanks, Holly. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you. So tell us a little bit about you and the human side of you and your background, and then tell us about what you do there with Postcard Mania.
Great. Well, I mean, I've been selling since, I guess, for probably about 40 some years, since I was about 7 years old. My dad was a salesman and a marketer. He definitely was an entrepreneur. And once out of high school, I worked with him, marketing and sales. So I learned a lot about marketing and sales from him. And I've been consulting businesses, like I said, for about 20 years. I really like to help small businesses grow and dig into their problems, because most of their problems can be solved by doing more marketing, having some money to spend to handle the other facilities that they need to make their life easier and their business grow. So it's great to be able to dig in and help them figure out their marketing problems.
I love it. So tell us, what you do at Postcard Mania and how you help specifically, of course, real estate investors.
Good. Well, I had my own company as a marketing consultant for over a decade, and I first heard of Postcard Mania back before I even started my own company, and the CEO here, Joy Jandusa. And Joy owns Postcard Mania. She grew it from scratch just using marketing, and over a decade ago, she was like using content, information, giving away free information and how-tos to small businesses. And so I picked up on that and followed her early on, and I've followed her ever since. And then ended up, I do a lot of public speaking, so I ended up in educating people on marketing. So I ended up as part of her team here. It's pretty amazing. I got to move from St. Louis, Missouri, down here to Clearwater, Florida. And Postcard Mania is an amazing company in that they really focus on its results driven. It's a great lead generation tool for a lot of industries, and it definitely works for real estate investment. But if it didn't work for a certain industry, we'd sure to tell them right out the gate that it was the wrong one for them. We don't take any orders via our website. A lot of companies are now hands-off where they're dealing with people all via their website. You have to actually deal with one of our consultants, and they're experts, and they dig in and they actually give you advice on how to implement our campaigns to get real results. And that's what I like about Postcard Mania in general, is that it really digs in and gives actionable advice that does work, because there's so many different random ideas out there about how to market using this, that, or some other tool. Having something that actually works, that actually gets a result, is pretty amazing. One of the things we do here is we actually have one person, her total job is to dig in and find out what worked for our clients when they sent out their campaigns and what didn't work, and advising them on how to tweak their cards and improve them, how to tweak their website, or anything that they need to do to make sure that they're getting sales. And then we take that advice that or what's working out there in the world for many different industries, and we actually catalog it so that our guys and gals know exactly what's working, so that they can pass on that advice to others. And that's what's really nice about working here.
That's really interesting. Well, I can't wait to dig in even more here. So how does someone like me that's never done postcard marketing, how do I even get started? Like, what does a new person even do?
Well, good. I mean, so you're going to call in where I talk to you about what your budget is and what you can work out to get done. The big thing that you want to have in mind right off the bat is that you want to do your marketing consistently. Whatever you do, like back in the day when Joy started this business, back in 1998, she started with consistently sending out 1,000 postcards. on a regular schedule. And as her income increased, she increased the amount of marketing that she was doing. And so today we send out about 180,000 postcards every week, right? Every week we send out 180,000 postcards.
Oh my
Now,
gosh.
so it kind of gives you an idea. And in 18 years, we haven't missed a week of sending out postcards. There've been hurricanes here, and we still didn't miss a week getting out postcards. So just every week the postcards go out. And so the big thing that you want to realize as a real estate investor is that you want to do consistent marketing. So you want to do it on a regular basis. The next thing to figure out is your list, your target market that you're going to go after, which is we're actually working with a company called Rebo Gateway Benutech. You might be familiar with them, or some of your listeners probably are.
Yep.
Well, we actually are providing their services in-house, so you can get those lists and other lists that we provide. We will figure out exactly who it is that you're going after, because getting a good list and then also making sure that you can reuse that list again and again is a big deal. I mean, that's the thing. There's two things about a list. One is having the right list. The second part is making sure that you hit that list again and again, because I was just reading about this on Bigger Pockets, and this is something we tell our people as well, is that most deals are made after the 5th contact. And so those postcards going out again and again and again make that contact with the person, remind them that you exist. So you got any list that you purchase, you have to make sure that you can use it again and again and make that repetitive contact. So first, you got to know that you have to have a budget that you're going to do it consistently. Second, you're going to make sure you have a good list that you can reuse. And now we're into what exactly the postcard is going to say. And apparently yellow cards work really well in real estate investment, and they still work. So we just had a case study of a new client who's making a lot of money. His only thing that he's doing to market is sending out direct mail, these yellow cards. So we know what the wording is, what the card should look like. There are other examples that we have too of people that are working really well. If you don't want to use yellow cards, we've got some other great case studies. But we've got some examples, like you're going to be giving away some of our successful examples here today. And you can look at those and you can use those ideas it will help you to design your card. We'll do that for you. We print it here. We make sure you get exactly the best mailing rates possible, and by using some pretty sophisticated computer software to make sure that happens, and to get your mailing out. And so we'll actually take you through every single piece of it. We'll even consult with you on your website, which is an important piece of the game as well.
That's awesome. So about how much does it cost to send out a postcard?
It varies. I mean, the postcards themselves can be less than less than a nickel a piece. Postage rates are pretty fixed, but you can do it pretty cheap. Honestly, but you need to do it consistently. You can do a campaign as little as, well, like Joy started with 1,000 postcards a week. So you've got postage, the printing, and design. So we can get you an exact quote. It really depends on what the budget is, and really just calling in and consulting with one of the guys would be the best thing to do on price.
Okay, so Barry, I don't even know what it costs to mail a postcard, because I never mail postcards. Is it 40 cents? I mean,
if you do it yourself, it is, but there's actually bulk rates. We take advantage of bulk rates. That's right. Yeah, and so you can get the price down considerably. And it depends on what kind of mailing you're going to do and what kind of list you're using on how much of a savings you can make on postage. But it's considerable postage, because I think actually to send a postcard out, it's well over 40 cents these days per card. But we can, I think we can bring down a lot. But again, it really depends on your list. I know that there are some mailings that can be done that can go below 20 cents a piece, and so that's a considerable savings. That's the lowest, and that's for a special type of mailing. But you might have a targeted list that you want to send out. I think it's going to be closer, 27 or 28, 29 cents a piece, something like that.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, I just had no idea because I mail letters and I have the forever stamp, so I don't even know how much those cost. You know, buying a roll of Costco every few months when I need them, and I just don't even know. So
yeah, it's tricky. They
yeah.
took the price off the stamp, so now you don't know how much it is.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hey, let's talk about too, unless I'm skipping another step, but as you mentioned before we started recording, how important it is to have a website. Can you
Yeah,
address that? I mean, do you really need a website? What if it's just a phone number? I mean, does it really help that much? Tell us about that.
well, I'm sure there are guys out there that use postcards and don't have a website in place, but we'd recommend at least getting like a landing page or something basic in place. We design web pages because, I mean, it's that important. About 95% of all interested people will go to a website before they call a company or a service provider. They'll actually go to the website first.
Wait,
And
that I think is a huge point. So 95% of people, and even older people, who a lot of our target markets are as real estate investors, older people that want to, you know, sell old rental properties or downsize. So maybe maybe I shouldn't say older. I would say 60 and older crowd, which aren't necessarily really internet savvy, but they're still checking out websites, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Their grandkids have now taught them how to use the internet, and
I love it.
or they're getting really savvy. I mean, the older crowd, an older crowd, as you said, is the the fastest growing demographic, like on things like Facebook, for example. So yeah, 95% of them, and that statistic has been around for a while. I saw it many years ago hanging right there in the post office when I went into the bulk mail unit to deliver some mail. There was that statistic being promoted by the United States Postal Service. So
Wow.
your website is, and it's still true today. Your website's really important. You know, as technology advances, more and more people are doing their research and their due diligence online before they even pick up the phone to call and talk to somebody. And that includes researching and looking into you. In many cases, so your reputation's a big deal online, and taking care of that is a big deal. So your website is definitely where many will start. They'll go to your website, and then there's a number of factors that, I mean, minimally you want to have a landing page and a reason for them to give up their contact information so that they contact you via the website. And we do a whole webinar just on that. That we could do for your folks if you wanted to. I'd be happy to. Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun on both postcards and websites. But having something simple there with an offer, a reason for them to give up their contact information, making sure your contact information is on the website, making sure it fits onto a mobile phone, it resizes itself for a mobile phone, because I think a huge percentage of us are not even walking across the living room to the laptop, but we're doing our searching, right from the couch, checking things out, kicking back, finding out, deciding who's going to build that deck in the backyard or what have you.
Oh yeah.
So
I even type it in. It's, hey Siri, show me results for blah blah blah. Yeah, we won't even type it anymore these days.
That's right. That's right. So at least you have to have something basic like a landing page, and and we actually have a whole digital department where we build websites for people, and we'll help them to put landing pages in place, etc., whatever they need. But if you have a full-blown website, depending on what it is that you're doing out there, and if it makes sense for you, if you have a full-blown website, having enough information on the website so they can do their research there. If they could stay on your website and do the research that they need, and get the information that they need, that's ideal. They can having video integrated into it is a huge deal. Having articles that are conversational, all those points. There's a lot more. We have a whole checklist just to have you evaluate your own website, and then having reviews, video testimonials, as well as other reviews that show that people are happy with the service that they got from you.
Yeah, I'm sure reviews are a huge factor because we as humans put so much weight on a third party endorsement or social proof. Yep. So if someone say I'm telling someone else, hey, you should listen to Barry because he knows what he's talking about and he's really helped all these people. That's gonna have way more power than you telling them, I'm great. Like
Yeah,
people want to hear it from someone else, not from yourself. Of
it's
course, you
true.
should think you're great too. But
Right.
yeah, it's really important. So,
As a matter of fact, I was going over a statistic with somebody just yesterday on that point, is that 79% of all people actually will trust an online review as much as they'll trust a friend and what a friend has to say. And so we got people trusting, I mean, whatever they read online from an online review, uh, they give that as much merit as they do their best buddy. And they're like, oh, well, here you go. They just trust it. And so, it's important for you to have it on there for sure. One of the points that we make with people, both on their postcards and their website, is to also use sort of a standard review system, a 5-star review system, because that's what we're used to seeing. And
right.
so we actually corrected this on a postcard just the other day, where it didn't look like the 5 stars that you see on Google. So we changed the way the stars looked so that people could immediately recognize that it was a 5-star review. Oh, good, because it's really that important.
Yeah, I believe that. And people will also give credibility, and you'll look better in their eyes for sure if you even have like a Better Business Bureau seal of approval or any kind of seals that you can get from other places, I know, or even you could put that on your postcard. I've heard they're not very difficult to get, but
No.
that can really help, especially since a lot of people are marketing to are 60 or older, and they're going to put a lot of weight in that.
Yeah, that's
For
right. I
sure.
mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's called social proof. It's a whole thing in itself. Making sure that you have those little signs, those little indicators that say that you're somebody who's trusted. So
Yes.
that's vital. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, what else can you tell us that would be valuable to people that are considering doing the postcard marketing, and how long? And you mentioned that we have to be consistent and do it a long time. How long should we expect to be investing in postcard campaigns, or the number of campaigns, before we start to see a return on that investment? Because obviously, from our brief discussion here, that if we send out if I send out one campaign and didn't get results, didn't get my phone ringing, didn't get leads on the website, it would not be wise of me to quit after one campaign, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
And Joy, when she started her business, when she was first doing her own postcards, every time that she increased the number of postcards that she was sending out, she would commit for a 6-week period. And so she started sending out 1,000 postcards a week. And then when our income plateaued at a new level, she then bumped it up to 2,500. And then she continued to follow that formula. Then when her income plateaued again at a new level, she popped it up to the next level. And she always would commit for a 6-week increase in, or whatever it was that she increased it to. She was committed to that time frame, and she had the money set aside for it, because you have to be consistent with your marketing. And I guess one of the times when she bumped it up from 2,500 to 5,000, her income doubled within 4 weeks. So if she mailed once and then quit, well, she would have saw that result.
That's really important. So do you have a recommended frequency for real estate investors who are trying to buy homes?
Well, there's different things different people are doing. I'll go over a couple of the case studies that are actually in the report there.
Okay.
That you're going to make available. We've got a company called Capital Match LLC. Their list, they targeted the owners of distressed properties, about 7,200 at a time. And the result was about 60 to 100,000 per month is what they were making in income from about 500 calls from interested homeowners. He got 13 sales, generating just under 97,000 in revenue. So he continues to send out 15,000 postcards per month, and it's the only marketing he does. And he brings in between $60,000 and $100,000 in revenue. So that's not a bad strategy all by itself. He got about well over 3,000% return on investment.
That's incredible. Do you happen to know what state that he's doing that in?
For some reason, I think he was in Texas.
Okay.
But it's the card. The actual card is in the report that you're going to be offering here in just a bit.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know that there's different results in different states. So that's why I love to tell people about that. It's definitely more competitive in California, I think, than Texas right now. But
Right.
yeah,
Now
for our
here's one.
California people.
Yeah, I got another one from Detroit, of all places, right?
Okay.
There's a few pieces of property available in Detroit, you may have heard.
Yes.
Right. So this is from Boost Detroit Real Estate LLC. They got 62 responses in total from both phone leads and online form submissions from their website. And this is from a mailing that he's done. I just started doing this mailing, and he's committed to do it 1,000 per month, and is going to just do every single month. He's committed to roll it out repeatedly every month. And so far, he just started, but he remodeled and sold one house. He's working on a second, and there's a third house in the pipeline. And currently, he's at 162,000 in revenue, about little over 37,000 in profit. And his initial order and postage only cost him about $1,382, I guess.
Wow.
So he had quite an increase in quite a return on investment, over 11,000% return on investment. So that's in Detroit, to give you a little bit of variation there on an area. And there's a bunch of other case studies on the Postcard Mania website, and there's the successful ones you're going to give away pretty quick here in that report.
Awesome. I love it. Well, so you just have all this great stuff. So I feel like you have better information than if I ask you questions. So what else would you like to share here?
Well, do you have any question? Like, if you were to do a postcard campaign, what else? I mean, I know you'd want to know prices yourself. What I really recommend is talking with our consultants, because they'll dig in and they'll actually give you some good advice regarding getting a campaign done. As a matter of fact, I've got a phone number. If anybody wants to call, we'll give this to you. You've got it for your show notes as well.
Yeah, go ahead and give it out. Here.
Great. Yeah. It's 855-890-5492. So it's 855-980-5492. And then you can also write me, Barry C, at postcardmania.com. That's Barry C at postcardmania.com. If you shoot me an email, I'll make sure to get you a copy, or I'll make sure to get this over to the right people, and then they can write you directly for a copy of the report that you're going to tell them about.
That's awesome. Okay, I did have another question I haven't asked yet.
Sure.
Do you send the same postcard with every campaign, or do you switch it up? Do they look a little alike so they recognize, oh, that's a Holly postcard? Or do you make them totally different so what's the strategy with that as far as, branding and recognition and stuff?
Well, repetition's a big deal. It's more important than than changing it up. I know people have sent out the same postcard for years and still get a great result. As a matter of fact, they decided to get creative. They insisted on being creative, and their results went down. And so they had some good advice to go back to what they were doing originally. And they're like, and it's sort of one of those hit your head moments. It's like, oh, the postcard I always did, of course, and so, but sometimes a variation can work as well. But it really, if you're going to change a postcard, it's sort of like change what's not working and improve, what is getting a result, maybe punch up something that's important to punch up, that's, maybe people are mentioning to you, possibly. Websites are easy to look at that way because you know what's working. You can actually measure the analytics and see what's working, what's not. And your website, if you're going to have a full-blown website, it's sort of like it's never really done. You're always adding to it. Postcards, quite often the same postcard will just continue to work and then just needs to be freshened up.
Right. That's really interesting. And then I have a follow-on question to that.
Sure.
Do you guys do handwritten fonts, and do you find those are more effective for real estate investors than something that's more corporate looking and business and typed out in a professional font?
Yeah, you can do handwritten fonts. As a matter of fact, there's a thing called variable print. If you have a list where you actually know the person's name because of the particular list that you have, you can include their name directly on the postcard in maybe a handwritten type font, something that looks like that, so that their name's right on there. And that's another service that we offer actually.
Oh, that's great. So
Yeah.
I'd say, hey, Barry, will you sell me your house?
That's right. That's right. It's like, how's this person know my name? All right, fine. They're
Yeah, it
clever.
catches people's eyes.
I'll give them a call.
Okay. Well, I think that you've given some great information, certainly enough to pique people's interest and get them to give you a call or check out your website. There's so much, you have so much information to offer, I know, and ways to help, and so much experience, to help people.
Thanks. Yeah, and if they want to go, I know you've got, you're going to offer them a report, but if they also want to get some sample postcards sent to them, they can shoot me an email over at postcardmania.com/REI postcards. Postcardmania.com/REI postcards. And then if they write me, Barry C at postcardmania.com, I'll actually get them a copy of our book that goes over all the specifics, right, using postcards today in an online world. So I'll give you all that data. And then you've got something for them too, right?
Yeah. So Barry's put together this great report that is our free download for the week. You know what, you guys, I always love you. I want to get you as much free, great information as I can to help you in your business. And we're episode 67. So that means you go to hardhatholly.com/67 to get Barry's free report. It's got case studies in it, right, Barry?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, it's going to
show you the actual card, front and back, the whole deal.
Yeah, give you some really good ideas on, what's working, and if you're ready to do what's working, I love Tony Robbins, who says model people that are having success. I'm a big fan of that. So like, why reinvent the wheel? Why try and figure it out? Do what's already working. Barry's company is obviously very successful at what they do. So they'd be a great place to check out if you think you want to do postcard marketing. Don't go to Staples and buy postcards and start handwriting stuff. I mean, I know people have done that thinking they're saving money. It's not the best use of your time if you want to make money in real estate.
Yeah, it's really a matter of, it's a good formula. It would be the more marketing you send out, the more leads you're going to get. Mm-hmm. So you can order some postcards, get them printed up, and get them mailed a lot quicker than you can painfully write notes on cards. I don't think that makes sense at all.
I know people have done it though. They think they're saving money, and right. I'd say just start with as small a budget as you need to, but start with something that's going to help you make money right away, because it's going to take you a long time even to write 100 postcards out. That it's just not worth it. Yeah,
your time is valuable. So yeah, totally. And more money, more marketing, more leads. That's the formula. As your income goes up, you should increase the amount of money that you're spending on your marketing to get more deals in the pipeline.
Yep, feed that machine. So, and then the other way you can get this free report, if you're listening on your phone, you're on the treadmill, whatever, you can send me a text to the number 38470. That's 38470, and you're just going to text all one word, hard hat. Just squeeze it together. I know it's not one word, but for this time, it's all one word. So the 38470, text hard hat, and you can get this free download as well as all of our past ones. So Barry, you've been so helpful. Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your insights. I feel like we just scratched the surface. There's so much to know and do, and really appreciate all of it. And listeners, if you're thinking of postcard marketing, definitely check out Postcard Mania and Barry and all of his tips. You have any final words of advice you'd like to give people?
No, I mean, just, do that and keep listening to podcasts like this one where you can get some great education. There's lots of great data out there. You've got some great episodes for people to listen to where they can do what other people are doing that's working. And so, it's great advice.
Yeah, well, thank you again, Barry. You've been awesome. Really appreciate it. And listeners, get out there, take some action, learn about postcard marketing. It looks like a fabulous way to grow your business. Only if you want to make money, check it out. Get out there and make some money. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, Holly.
Hey there, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you like it and click subscribe to get notified of more videos. And you can go to hardhatholly.com for a free download on secrets to finding great deals.